It's why at the end of Pilgrim's Progress, which pictures the Christian life as a journey from the sinful city to the celestial city, right at the end, when they get to the River Jordan, the dark, deep, black River Jordan of death, Christian and his companion face this deep river and they don't like it one bit. And Christian's companion said, I'm not going through that river. There must be another way. And he turns off to the left down a side path. And Bunyan writes, so I saw in my dream that there is a way to hell even from the gates of heaven. I don't want to labor this. I'm trying to show you that what Hebrews is saying is not just Hebrews, it's all the way through. In the last book in the Bible, you've got a message for people under terrific pressure. As we'll see, the book of Revelation is for those under terrific pressure. And the promise is, he who overcomes, I will not blot out his name from the Lamb's book of life. And what does that mean? If you want to keep your name in the book of life, then overcome. Go right on to the end. Never go back. Keep your eyes fixed on Jesus and run the race. And right at the end, there is a warning on the last page of the Bible that if you play around with the book of Revelation and start taking things out of it or adding things to it, God will take away your share in the tree of life. So you see, there is this thread. There are glorious other scriptures which tell us of God's keeping power. You've got Father, Son, and Holy Spirit on your side. You've got everything going for you. Just keep on believing and you make it. But wherever there's a promise that God keeps us, there is also an exhortation to keep yourself. Take little Jude. The last verse says, he is able to keep you from falling. It doesn't say he is certain to, it says he's able to. But the verse just ahead of it says, keep yourselves in the love of God. Paul, when he offers assurance of the future, he says, if you continue in the faith, hold on, keep on, go on. And I find the letter to the Hebrews is consistent with that whole thing. But he's able to keep you. You've got all of heaven going for you. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But God so loves you that he will never force you, never treat you as a puppet. He will lead you, he will keep you, he will guide you. Keep yourselves. When Paul says, he says, I believe, I'm absolutely convinced that he is able to keep what I've committed to him. Just a few verses later says, I have fought the fight, I've finished the course, and I've kept the faith. So that word keeping, it's important. He keeps, you keep believing. And all these heroes of faith in Hebrews were still living by faith when they died. May that be said of you and you, preacher, that we've kept on believing that we overcame by the blood of the Lamb. It's not salvation by works, it's salvation by continued faith. That's what it is. And let's not get it twisted. So, let's draw some conclusions from all this. I would have to say that Hebrews teaches us that it is possible to lose our salvation. Danger we need to be aware of. Of course, some neurotic Christians are so unsure of themselves that saying that just sends them to bed full of doubts. Well, those doubts are based on a false security. You can't shake people who are trusting Jesus. Secondly, that once lost, it is impossible to recover. I believe that's the message of Hebrews 6. Thirdly, that predestination requires our continued cooperation. It's not automatic. God did predestine us. He chose us before we chose him, but he requires our cooperation. It's as if there's a drowning man and someone throws him a rope, and the person throwing the rope says, now grab hold of this and hold on until I've got you to the shore. Would that man ever say when he got to the shore, I saved myself by hanging on? Never. He will always say, that man saved me. The idea that you think you've saved yourself because you held on, it's just not true to fact, it's not true to reality. That's why Peter says in his second letter, make your calling and election sure. God has elected you and chosen you. Now make that sure by pressing on, by going on for maturity, so that you may have a rich welcome into heaven. Do you want a rich welcome? Well, then press on and make your calling and election sure. Predestination, I believe in it. God predestined me to be his son. God elected me, chose me. He was after me long before I was after him. That's true, isn't it? But nevertheless, I need to make that calling and election sure by holding on to the rope until I'm safely on the shore. Okay? But he's doing the saving. It's not the rope, and it's not my holding on to it. To say that the rope saves you or that you're holding the rope saves you, ridiculous. It's he who saves us. But he says, grab hold of this and hold on till I get you safe. I don't like using the word safe until I'm in heaven. When I'm there on those golden streets, I'll shout, I'm safe! I'll even be prepared to say I'm saved. At last. Saved at last. He has continued and completed the good work he began in me. But all through the Bible, there is this emphasis on go on believing, go on trusting, go on holding the rope until you're there. Now, I hope that may have helped some of you. It's probably upset others of you. It's a big issue. And I just want to be both a Calvinist and an Arminian. I want to be both. In fact, somebody came and listened to me for 3 months and said, David, are you a Calvinist or an Arminian? I said, well, you've heard me for 3 months. You should know by now. He said, well, that's what puzzles me. He said, some Sundays I go home and think he's a good Calvinist. And then the very next Sunday, you preach an Arminian sermon. Predestination and free will, the old issue. I said, well, you know the answer. He said, I don't. Which are you? I said, you do know. I'm both. Oh, he said, you can't be. I said, not intellectually I can't be. I can't get it together intellectually. But I said, I know that both are true. And both sides would like to rewrite some of the New Testament. Both sides have what they call problem passages. But I believe he's able to keep. And I believe I must keep myself in his love. That I must hold on till I make it. And Hebrews is the one book that I don't think we can twist on this one and say it's just full of problems. It's not. It's full of clear statements that we need to hear. And especially if we're thinking for our own safety or even the safety of our children, that we're going to slip out of this difficult situation and thereby deny Jesus. Jesus did say to believers, to his disciples, if you deny me before men, I'll have to deny you before my Father. But you endure and you share my glory. Now that's the straight, plain, simple truth. So be overcomers, and then your names will never be blotted out of the Lamb's Book of Life. When the book is opened, there your name will be. He's mine. He never denied me. So I own him now, says Jesus.